Yo, Bo, welcome to another episode of In the Life of MightyFan. Got some lids to share here. He's been accumulated over the past, however many weeks, and yeah, it keeps going. It just. Also would like to speak a bit on the, and I don't have any pictures. I'm sorry to say, I don't have the those skills of the people who just can show the stuff as they're talking about, whatever. But or I don't have the little screen behind me where you can see stuff. But that would invest more money, and that money goes towards pickups. So, yeah, we know. So, but I do want to talk a bit because they were released today, at least the images of the 2022-23, right? 22-23 reverse retro jerseys for the NHL, the alternate, throwback concoctions that the teams are going to be wearing. And I'm really excited about this set. And I learned from the mistakes made a couple years ago when the first set came out. And we're going to get into that in just a bit. And I probably will try to do a vid at some point when I have the laptop here and I'll have that open and try to share, the images and, whatnot of the particular jerseys that I have most interest in going after, which they release on the 15th of November, and I believe that online on NHL.com shop and such over that between that day and I guess the next few days, and then I think they start hitting the stores, brick and mortar stores, by the 20th of November. And that's less than a month away. It's going to get interesting for me. It's really going to yeah. So anyhow, we're gonna get into that after I share the hats. So let's get right into the hats, and then we'll get into a little reverse retro talk, reverse retro 2.0 talk. First of all, this was a pro image pickup. Um, I'm not a big earth tone hat guy. Like I know there's a lot of those sets that come out with different earthy tones or something, but I wanted to get this because of the side patch more than anything else. So it's the Phillies, kind of brick red and I guess tan. This came out a few weeks ago. It does have the Independence Hall logo, which I really like, but this is why I got it. And I know you've seen this on the side of some hats since, but the Veterans Stadium, logo side patch, and I remember this logo on the sides of the aisle seats at the old vet. So that was the first time I've ever seen it done, and since it's popped up a few times on different hats, and I guess this is gonna be one of the new big side patches I guess for the Phillies. But first time I saw it, I still would like to find just a regular Phillies hat, with that on the side, like an old school Phillies or even the newer Phillies with that. But I like it. Like I said, it was the first time I saw one with the Vet Stadium logo on a hat. There's been many made, and I have many of them with the final season of the Vet, but this is a little different because it's the logo that they had there on within the stadium. Um, this one is the one that I ran a few weeks ago when I shared that crazy pickup at Lids at Pro Image, where I got 8 hats, and then I went and ran to the New Era Clubhouse store, it's Bank Park, to get the Fanatic hat. This is a ballpark exclusive. I really like how they executed this. Just the green, Kelly green overall, and then you have the Fanatic right there. New Era flag, no side patch, just a clean hat. The eyelids and the squatchy is red, and then the Batterman on the back, it has the red under white gut. But there you go. And I will be at the game tomorrow night against the Padres. Game 3, NLCS. I'm really hoping we can get the lead back. Things were looking good for a couple innings yesterday. It just started falling apart. But, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to tip the hat and give the other team credit, right? But I do have hope and still belief that we can win this NLCS and then go to the World Series, where you just never know, right? Either I'm guessing it's going to be Houston. But either Houston or the Yankees would be the team they would face, and we'll see. We'll see, right? Gotta get there first. Gotta win 3 more games. So hopefully tomorrow night we'll start doing that. This one, I saw Pierre from Views from the Vault wearing this some weeks ago, and I didn't know where he found it. And I loved it because it had the side patch that I've been saying I want to see on more Phillies hats. We need it on more, right? So this was at Lids. Got it last weekend. It's a Just Don hat. I'm not a big Just Don guy. I know they make all those $1 billion shorts and different shirts with like logos everywhere. So I'm not a big, Just Don wearer, but they made this hat and it's cool. Old school Fat P right there. And there it is. The 1976 All-Star side patch. That is it. I've only seen this on 2 hats so far, and I have both of them. I have the Lids, but both of them are Lids. Were purchased at Lids. I guess they were Lids exclusives. I guess they're the only one that has that patch, the rights to make this patch so far. There was an All-Star set that they did some years ago with it on there, and now this one, the Just Don one. So, and there it is. You see, it is a very detailed patch. In a way, I can kind of understand why, because it's probably hard to do in different colorways and different stuff, because it is very detailed. So you got the Liberty Bell with the 76, and then you got Veterans Stadium inside of that right there. See, there's just so much going on it. But it is, in my opinion, the best All-Star logo at a game in Philly. Better than even the 96ers. Everyone loves it. It's just the big Liberty Bell. But this one just hits just a bit more. If you see the actual version of it, like if you just do a Google search, 1976 MLB All-Star game, you'll see it. And it's really well detailed. But there it is, right? This was the hat I ran. One of the hat I was I wanted to see in person, and I ended up buying it because I thought it looked pretty good. So this is the hook that Pro Image did to Jedi Mind Trick last week. I like the colors on this. I don't know anything about Jedi Mind Trick, but I just like the look of the hat. So you got the Phillies P with the stars on each side. So years ago, it was the batting practice. They had a batting practice hat like that with the 2 stars. So that's kind of where that came from. You've seen many Phillies hats with that, in recent years done. But good green under. You got the '08 World Series side patch on this one. Speaking of World Series, right? Then you got the Batterman with the gold trim. Very nice. The colors pop on this. Definitely, for sure. So nice job by Pro Image. This one actually I did forget to share. This was I've had this for a bit. I got at the Iron Pigs game some weeks ago with my buddy Mark M. We went to a game, and this was actually on clearance. This is the patriotic. I guess Independence Day, whatever Stars and Stripes, hat that they wear on field around that time, Memorial Day, what have you. So there it is. All right, the logo on the front, a little bacon side logo. Our flags, on-field fitted, got the black under, red squatchy, and it does the on-field, the Jackie Robinson logo for the minor league baseball. This was the main hat I went for last week at Pro Image, part of their big patch collection, big side patch collection. But this one, as I said in the car as I was doing my vlog going to the mall, this goes with my 1990 Darryl Strawberries, right? The Mitchell and Ness jerseys, the home and away. Because that logo is on the sleeve of those jerseys, so obviously. And there's been other hats, Dodger hats done with this logo. I've actually since seen a few more hit Lids in different colorways, but I just wanted a regular Dodger hat, with that on there. Yes, it's a very big side patch, but I I slept on some of the others from the past when I had chances. So this time I didn't, right? Batterman, you got kind of like I want to say a lavender under with the Dodgers again. It's, it looks like a little out of place for this, but it is what it is. Main reason for me to get it was that Humongo side patch. So there it is. Um, this was an online exclusive with Pro Image, and the deal about this one was I was talking about this with the fellas over at the Cherry Hill Mall some weeks ago, and we were talking about it, and it was at the time the Phillies were playing the Cardinals. So I'm like, I'm not going to get this now. We'll wait, because it was still available in full run. Like, I'll wait till Monday. This was like on Saturday, right? Some weekends ago, and the Phillies ended up winning. So, yeah, I'm superstitious that way. If one of our teams is playing someone in the play, I will not even look at the other team's merchandise. As many jerseys and hats that I want to get and whatever. No, so right now, no Padres. No, no, no. So at the time, so here's now again. This was a website exclusive for Pro Image, right? So this is part of the Cream of the Crop collection that they put out some weeks ago. And I was wondering why they didn't do the Cardinals. The Cardinals actually hit on the website later that day, I think it was, when all the others were in store. But it is what it is. You got the St. Louis Birds on Bat. It's got the excuse me, got the paddles going around. You have that patch on the side, Busch Stadium, which I have a couple Cardinal jerseys with that on there. On the sleeve, Batterman, good gray on the bottom. Classic look. I still want the Cardinals jersey like this, right? The cream jersey with the birds on back, because it just looks classic. But that jersey, it's tough, man. That's probably one of the tougher Cardinal jerseys to grab, and we know Nike prices, right? So it's like, not only is it tough to get, but if you find an authentic, right, Fanatics or whatever, it's like, all right, Nike. Damn. Up next, this was a Hat Club pickup some weeks ago. There's the hat. So I got the Miguel Cabrera. I said I got this hat coming. And there it is. That goes with Miggy. 10th Annie. Right there. This is the jersey front. And there's still a few of these available on Hat Club's site. There's still some pretty good ones actually still available. I may have to make a move on some of those at some point, but we'll see. But I like this one. So grabbed it, and I got that Mickey, so I had to patch it. We have to do it, Up next, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. This is the one that I said, right? I got the fitted, and it was navy. But I still need that royal blue for Dan Fouts and Winslow and Joyner. But they made one. So we got with the heather gray, and there is, I forget if I shared this one before, but I've had this for a bit. NFL Shield, Chargers AFC on the back, but there's that royal blue Chargers. So, those throwback 80s jerseys that Mitchell and Ness made years ago, it's hard to get hats for those. Because, you can get a Chargers hat, but, I'm thorough, so I want the colors to go. A powder blue Charger hat with the royal blue jersey. No, that's not good combo wombo. I need it to be as perfect as possible. So I needed a royal blue Chargers hat, and finally we made it happen. Now speaking of hooks, right? This was oh goodness, I always forget if I got from Macari or Poshmark. Macari. This was Macari. They're basically the same, right? So it's the Houston Astros, and I forget who did this, where this came from originally, but it's the Houston Oilers hook. All right, so you got the Love You Blue, little Oiler colorway going there. Astrodome, oh my. Oh no. Good green under. Can't wait to put this together with Earl Campbell and with All right, I don't have the Love You Blue Billy White shoes, but I got the white one, so I can wear it with that. Warren Moon, Robert Brazil, Eddie George, even not the one I have right now because for the Oilers because it's a Tennessee Oilers jersey. So the Houston, Tennessee, we're not gonna mix those up, right? So if I get the other just the regular blue, like his rookie jersey when he was in Houston, or the white one, mm-hmm. God, Mighty Fan, just breaking necks wearing these combo wombos. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance, but it is what it is. Someone's got to. Someone's got to do it the right way. I see so many bad combo wombos out there. I'm like, you know what? Enough. All right, now the teacher's got to teach. Now we got to show how you're supposed to wear them together. All right, so those are the lid pickups, okay, over the past however many weeks. Now we're going to get into the Reverse Retro 2.0s, and they just came out. You can find them if you look around, just do a search, Google search. There's many. I mean, if you're a Jersey head, I mean, I got the alert while I was at work from my buddy Luca, right? So shout out to Luca, who tagged me on the post he put on or a post on the Kings of Throwbacks group on Facebook about it. I told him, I said, Luca, I knew I was in trouble, wallet wise, with the the Reverse Retro 2.0s, the new City Edition for Nike for the NBA, that Statement Warriors that for the Curry collection. Then I saw that what really, now obviously there's some leaks here and there, and there's some ideas of what the jerseys could be, and this and that, and but you don't know until you see the whole set. And they came out today, and they are fantastic. There are I think there are more hitters in this 2.0. And listen, when you're doing this, like when they did the 1.0, right? That was the first go around, right? This is like, okay, well, let's, we'll put out, we want to make stuff that looks good, but this is kind of a feeler, right? Some teams didn't go real crazy, right? Some teams did just amazing stuff. Some teams were like, you know what? All right, this is what we think we're going to go with. Okay, here it is, right? This time, a lot of teams weren't messing around. They were not messing around because it's about trying to outdo yourself from the first one, right? Now it's okay, what else can we do? I said, Luca, it's over. My wallet's not going to be happy with me, even with the paying fours. Oh, they're going to get Mighty Fan's money. Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. It's going to be a good pain. And I'm going to take you along the ride, okay? It's going to be good. We're going to get through this together. Man, there's some good ones in that set. And the thing is, because it's hockey, you have to move quick, particularly if you want the authentic Adidas, right? Because they're going to... Some of these, I don't even think are going to be on the site for like a couple hours. Maybe not even an hour. I think some of these are going to fly. And I'm going to be one of them trying to get some of them right away. So, just right off the bat, like so you had... There's a few in there I'm trying to think of, right? And I don't have them right in front of me. I can't, look. I don't have I should have brought my laptop down, but it is what it is. The Capitals. So now a lot of teams kind of did what they did the first time and just did a different color. But the Capitals did the Screaming Eagle. They did it in red the first time. Now it's in black. So it's almost like it goes with that was the alternate, then it became their primary with the Capitol building on the front. It's basically that jersey with the Screaming Eagle on the front. And it looks fantastic. That may have to be an Adidas Authentic for me. That may have to. That just, it looks too good. Because the other one I got, the original from the 1.0, I got the Fanatics branded one, which I like. It's a nice jersey, but just that extra detail on the Adidas ones, with that eagle, forget it. Oh, forget it. So that's going to happen. I know that's going to happen. I knew I was going to get OV one either way. So that's happening. The the Duck. So they brought back the Jason Duck. Not really a surprise, right? They did so the 1.0 they did like a 2.0 version of the Wild Wing with the full duck cartoon duck coming through the ice. And I got the authentic Adidas Getzlaff at the time. I don't know what player I would get, but they did a they did a white version of their inaugural jersey, and it's their current colorway, and the logo really pops on the front. It's the Jason Duck, it's their original logo, and it's got the pattern going as it did on their original jerseys, right? Of which I have. So yeah, I gotta keep that collection within the collection going. So that one's gonna happen. Again, I don't know the player. I'll figure it out. And sometimes you're at the mercy of what they have. So I guess I'll just go with all right, this player. All right, but I have the jersey, so I'll be happy. One of the ones I felt bad I didn't get originally was the Wild because they did the original North Stars colorway, and the original jersey was white with like all North Star colored and the current Wild logo on the front, but it was done all up in the original North Stars colorway. And when I first saw it, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it kind of grew on me. And then of course it's not available, right? I'm not messing around this time. This time that one's coming into the collection. They did it again, although in green this time. And again, it's kind of North Stars look. It has the current Wild logo crest on the front, but it's all done in old North Stars colorway, which is just fantastic. So, yeah, that's probably going to happen. I'm thinking Kaprizov, right, as the player. I do try to get players' name and numbers. To me, it completes the jersey. I know a lot of people would just wear them blank, and that's fine. I like them with the name and numbers. It just adds to the jersey, and to me, it completes the jersey. So, the Flyers did like an ode to their cup winning teams from the 70s, the Bully days. And it's a white jersey. See, the Flyers is one of those that it's hard because their jersey really hasn't changed a lot over the years. They've done this and that. They tweaked it here and there, but for the most part, what they wore in the 70s is what they wear today. The crest has stayed the same for the most part. The orange and black is still there. It's hard, right? And their original one was an orange jersey with the black. And it was a kind of a homage to their 80s and 90s jersey. Now they did a homage to the 70s, to the back-to-back cup winning teams. It looks okay. I still kind of want to see it, in hand, but I mean, I'll get it, obviously, because it's a Flyers jersey. It's a new Flyers jersey, so that has to, it has to happen. But that's one that, obviously I'll be able to grab at some point. Probably just get locally at, one of the stores around here or something. The Canadians I like because it's an Expos hook. They're not saying it is, but it is. It's a powder blue Montreal jersey with the Canadian, crest on the front. Canadians logo, crest on the front. Really nice. The original one they did a few years ago was royal blue. And I guess you can kind of call that an Expos hook, too, for, like, the later days. But this is, like, an original Expos colorway look on the Canadians jersey. Yeah, I could see me putting that jersey on with an Expos hat. And I want to. Ah, man, there's so many good ones. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head, right? There's some good ones. People have complained about the Bruins one. I like it. They did the Pooh Bear in white. And they kind of did it looking like the jersey they wore, I want to say in like the 90s, which is around when the Pooh Bear came out originally, right? So it almost looks like their white jersey of the time with the piping and everything, with just the Pooh Bear head on the front. So I don't know if that's one I'm going to grab right away, but that might be, one that comes into the fold eventually. The Oilers, they did the old, the metallic, oil drop, which they had as an alternate jersey for a time. And I could see McDavid in that. I could see me making the move on that at some point. Um, I knew there'd be ones I'm forgetting. There was just so many good ones. It really, the Kings. It's another one that's real nice. That classic crown on the front. They did a white jersey in it. Ugh. Oh my, just so many that just so many that just were like, oh, this isn't going to be good. This, and even ones that I probably won't get unless I can get them, at a good deal or something. Like I like what I see your res in Bay Area. I know I like what the Sharks did with the Oakland Seals jersey. That look, and it is a homage, to old school, Bay Area, right? Hockey, NHL hockey. And that looks really nice. It really, I mean, it does. But that's one of those where if I wanted to get, I would want to get a Seals jersey first because I don't have a Seals jersey in the collection. And I know it's a homage to the Seals jersey. It's like, okay, well, I kind of want, if I'm going to get that, I want a Seals jersey. And the other one that I almost blanked on was the Coyotes. And I didn't get the Space Coyote, the purple one that they did a few years ago, because I wanted to get the original, and I got the original since. So they did I forgot the color. I forgot the color, the name for the color, but it's different. And it's the space coyote head. It's this, it's that same jersey, which I think they're also going to do like a black or orange, something like that for their alternate jersey. The same thing. So it's like they're kind of doing, they're really doing that space coyote jersey up this year. They really, which they did for their 1.0 in purple. And they obviously wore back in the day in green, as you saw in my recent pickup vid. That one looks pretty nice. I don't know if I would jump on it. I do want to see the alternate that they do for that one and see how it looks in that colorway. I like the Vegas one too, which just has the Vegas going down. That one looks pretty good. There's so many good ones. There really is. The Islanders brought back the Fisherman, but they didn't do the wave design, which takes away a bit from it. It's like if you're gonna go, just go all the way with it. Don't just put the and skimp on the rest. It should be like it was back in the day, but I've heard the owner is not a fan of that jersey at all, and they did it because there was so much clamoring for it, but it's like, okay, but we're gonna do our own thing with it. The Avalanche did like a Colorado Rockies deal, which they somewhat they did the Nordiques, I believe the first time around. Now they went back to the original Colorado team, the Rockies. The Devils kind of did that too, and I think with the Scouts as well, because they were the original. Before they moved to Jersey, they were in Colorado and Kansas City, whatever before that. So their jersey is in that colorway. So it's kind of interesting you have two teams with a homage to that, right? But it makes sense, right? They both have, obviously the one plays in Colorado right now. The other one was in Colorado as a franchise many years ago. There were some interesting ones. The Penguins brought back the Robo Penguin, but they didn't do the stripes around, which people were complaining about. I think it still looks solid. I like the one they wore, even as a Flyers fan. I like the one they wore a few years ago, which is the white version of the word mark Pittsburgh, which I never did get. And now they wear the like what they wore back in the 90s, of which I have a starter Mario Lemieux for. They wear that, word mark Pittsburgh jersey as an alternate. So they wanted to bring back the Robo Penguin, and they did on the crest, but they didn't put the striping. And I've heard some speculate they might wear it as an alternate someday, as a third, and really do it up with the stripes going around the back, as the original Robo Penguin had. But it's cool. It's cool to see them bring that logo back, which used to be on their. They brought it, it was on the alternate, but they also wore it on the white jersey of the time, and then they wore the word mark Pittsburgh for the black jersey. At the time would have been the road jersey, and the white jersey at the time was the home jersey. So you saw the Robo Penguin primarily back then for their home white jersey. fact, they were wearing it when the Flyers beat him in the 5 overtime playoff game. Keith Primo, right? So it looks pretty nice. That they did that, and I'm glad they brought that back as the crest. There's just so many good ones. The Sabres, they did kind of a similar one that they did before, but before they did the butter knives crest, which is the crossing swords they called so basically like the red alternate from back in the day. This time they brought back the goat head, but they're also going to wear like the original from the 90s as an alternate jersey. So they're really loving that goat head logo as the crest for alternate jerseys this year. And it's a really good look. I mean, I have my Dominic Hasek jersey upstairs. Beautiful. Beautiful. Really like that look. So that was pretty cool to see them do that. But it's very similar in colorway to what they did with their 1.0. In fact, it's almost exact to what they did. But there are a lot of really good hitters. Ottawa's looks pretty good. Toronto, it's pretty solid. It's hard, though, with some teams. Like the Flyers, like Toronto, the colors don't really change. So you got to kind of try to, okay, we're going to go with this era. We're going to do this era. It's tough. And some teams are more creative with it than others. But I liked it. I was excited. This time of year, when you, like I said before, when you have all these new jerseys coming out, you have the reverse retros, you have the city editions coming out for the NBA, and different stuff, and seeing some of the new stuff on court, some of the throwback jerseys. You have some of the statements, the new teams that are wearing new statement editions, came out. And you see them on the court, and you see them on TV, or even if you go to games, right? So it really, when you see that stuff like live or even just watching on TV, it just pops even more, and it makes you want to invest even more. And sometimes it's like, I don't know why they did that, right? But so that's pretty much the jersey news of the day. And I will believe me, those reverse retros are going to happen, and it's going to be, Thank goodness for the paying for. I'm so glad that that's an option, because it's going to help. It's going to be interesting. Sometimes it's hard to read the room. It's hard to know, okay, well, this is going to sell right away, or that's going to sell right away, right? I know Rez did his live yesterday evening on YouTube for his YouTube channel, and the topic of the day was all the new statement editions, and there were some, throwbacks and some city editions mixed in. We had a conversation on that on his live last night for the NBA, and it's hard. It's hard because it's like, okay, well, how many do you guys want to get? But then you're trying to think, okay, and I don't think in the terms of, well, authentics, a lot of collected, that's all they want. But at the same time, you're trying to figure, okay, well, this is what I know I want to go after. Do I have to move on it that second? Can I wait a little bit? Obviously, the prices of these, particularly for hockey, it can get up there. And I know the authentic, everyone wants the Adidas Authentics, right? The Fanatics brands might sit just a bit, and on some sites you might get more stock. It's hard. So you kind of have to hunt around, right? And then you'll find stuff in your local sports shops, like a Dick's, like a Pro Image, Lids, Rally House, what have you. It's just naming a few, and I'm just thinking of the local ones here. But it's still hard. It's still hard to figure, okay, this is a style that's going to sell right away. Let me jump on it. This is one, maybe I have another, couple of weeks, a month. I can let that go for now, come back to it. And then the opposite happens, right? The one that you're like, I can wait, it sells right away. And the one that you thought's going to move like hotcakes might stick around for a bit. It's really tough. And like I said, like I was saying when I was doing that vlog on the way to the mall, it's like playing a stock. And it's this time of year when we get to, past Halloween into the holiday season, November, that's when all these jerseys come out, right? Become available. I know for sure the Reverse Retro 2.0s is mid-November. So once you get to that time, Now there's this big rush because all these REITs, they want to put this stuff out there because they want you to buy so that they can make the end of year sales, right? For the holidays, Black Friday, all that, right? So all this stuff gets pumped out there and that helps their sales for the year, right? And people look forward to it. Obviously, collectors and other people just want to buy gear. So it's tough. And this is the, once we get past Halloween, once we get past Halloween, it really becomes those 2 months, November and December, they're probably the toughest times to collect because there's so much out there, oversaturated with stuff. And at the same time, like I said, then you have more people, an influx of people selling on those sales marketplaces like an eBay, a Poshmark, a Macari, within the groups on Facebook, and just gems, right? Just putting stuff up there because they want to make that holiday money, and they're selling stuff, and it's See, you gotta kind of find a balance, right? I feel that this year for me, I'm gonna focus mainly on the reverse retros because I did miss out on stuff the last time around a couple of years ago, and again, look, it was a new thing. I didn't quite know, right? I got something here and then. I knew I wanted to get the Flyers one and the Ducks, so I grabbed those two. I got the Capitals eventually. I got the Blues eventually. There was there were a few because they were available elsewhere, and I was able to get them. But it really, yeah, I did. I kind of misread the room on some of them. So this time around, I know what to kind of expect. And now that this is the second installment of them, now there's more people, there's going to be more eyes, more interest, because now people know from what it was a few years ago, okay, this is it. And I think you're going to have a little influx, perhaps, of people gobbling them up. At least that's how I'm reading the room. I don't know. And maybe the fact is, maybe they make more, you know, uh, um, stock of it because of it. Maybe, a few years ago we were still in COVID, so there wasn't as much stock made. Maybe this year there's more. So it could be that maybe they do hang around a little longer, but, you never know. Me and a collector focus is just, I don't know. I don't want to take that risk. Will I get every single one I want right away? No. I mean, that would be impossible. But at least a good handful, a good chunk of them, I would like to grab. And I know that by doing that, all right, I'm probably not going to be able to go, like, let's say, whatever the flagship stores do in Black Friday, Mitchell and Ness, whatever this or that, because I know I'm putting my resources here, right? And that's where I say it's a balancing act. You have to be careful. You go too crazy and then the lights don't turn on. Which I've never had that problem, but, I want to keep it that way. It's nice to have lights on here talking to you, right? Here on YouTube. And being able to watch things on TV and running water. Those are all, and being able to eat. Although, yeah. And do the natural things of life, right? It's a balancing act. It's tough. I always, if you're not a collector, you just don't. It's not something you're going to understand because you don't live that life. You don't look at these things that way, right? You're like, oh, okay, well, they're doing this or that. Collectors, we look at things that way. We're like, ooh, we want that, or why did they do that? They should have done it this way or that way, right? But basically, you have to try to find a happy medium. And I've learned over the years you have to kind of put a focus on something. This, particularly in the holiday time, you have to find a focus because there's so much there. It's over. It will knock you down. I mean, there is that much out there. So you got to find what it is. What are you going to target? So I figured, okay, this year I know I'm going to target the Reverse Retro 2.0s, the City Edition, particularly the Sixers and Steph. Steph Curry. The new Statement Edition Warriors because of Steph. So those are three at least that I know are going to happen. I really like what the Mavericks are going to be doing for their leaked City Edition, and there's still some Luka jerseys out there I want to get. I haven't yet, but I'd like to. Good news is that those have hung around a little bit on the sources that I'm hoping to get them from, right? So, but you do have to try to find that happy medium, but also try to say, okay, this is it. And if I do this, I'm going to sacrifice some things here, and hopefully they're still around when I can get to them, right? So some of the things from Mitchell and Ness, let's say, some of their new release stuff, probably have to wait till the Super Bowl sale, the week of the Super Bowl at the store. Hopefully it's a good deal there, and I can just grab them at that time, But that's the risk I'm willing to run. And there's some nice, new. I've seen some of the new stuff coming out. The NBA that we've seen in the group and some of that stuff. There's some heavy hitters coming out. I don't know exactly when. They haven't released them yet, but it's going to be coming, and it's going to be hard, to not run to that store on Black Friday and grab a few. But to me, at least for the rest of this year, there's reverse retros and city edition stuff. It's more important for me to add. So I'm willing to let's take that break, and go back to the flagship during the Super Bowl sale and get a few of those jerseys then. Hopefully they're still around in my size, which is always important, right? And I can just make the move at that time. But I don't want to miss out on this other stuff. And that's where it makes it real tough because, like I said, all these places, and I'm sure Mitchell's going to do it too, they're going to release these things the week of Thanksgiving. You know what's going to happen. And here they all come. Their new stock of stuff, right? And it's like, but there again, I have a couple shots at it, right? The flagship store, the online, maybe Fanatics. So there's some, there'll be some opportunity, I think, there. Whereas some of this other stuff, I might just have one or two resources online to pick from to get. Because obviously the local stores isn't going to get every team. They're going to get a handful. Mainly they'll have Flyers, they'll have some Penguins, they'll have maybe one or two other, teams. But even that, I think mainly around here, we just get the Flyers and Penguins for the reverse retros. I mean, I'm thinking about from a few years ago. I remember there was a Blues jersey at one of the lids, but, we really don't get a lot of, a selection of teams. We might just get the Pennsylvania teams, right? Obviously the Flyers, but then you might get some Penguins and maybe the Capitals, because I did get the Ovi from a Pro Image when I got that reverse retro 1.0 some years ago. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to have the greatest selection. So most of it, I'm probably just going to have to grab on NHL Shop or Fanatics or some other source. Do the paying for because I'm going to have to, and then go from there. The city editions too. The Sixers one I can grab here, but Curry I'm going to have to grab that, and I want to get it from the Warriors shop, so it has the Rakuten logo on there, the lad sponsor. But if I can't get it there and I have to grab it from Fanatics without it, okay. I mean, at least I got it, and it's part of the Curry collection. And the Sixers, it's just every year, whatever they do, I get. And I know most of it's swingman. I'm sorry to the loyalists of the Authentics, but I get what I can, and it's a little cheaper, and then I can go out and get some other stuff that's out there that I'd like to get. So, at least that's my game plan. We're gonna see. Obviously, listen. I mean, sometimes it's best laid plans. The old saying, right? Then it just falls apart. But I'm hoping that at least I can say, okay, this is where the focus is going to have to be. These are things that I want to get and add and get a little more selection than I was able to get a few years ago. Then, of course, you have the hats to go with them. Combo Wombo has to happen, right? So there's going to be that aspect of it, too. Now, the hats stick around a bit, so I'm not as worried about that aspect of it. Maybe I could circle back around or get them on other sources down the road. But the jersey itself, yeah, there's a handful at least from this 2.0 set that I know has to happen. And I'm glad I kind of have a second chance at like the Wild with the North Stars colorway, because I like that. I thought it was really, that's one that, like I said, at first when I saw it that year, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Then it grew on me, and I saw it them playing, on a game on NHL Network, and I'm like, oh, that is nice. But by then, they were gone, so I didn't have a shot. That's one of the ones that sold out the quickest, I think, was the Wild. I remember the Coyotes did. The Space Coyote, that was one of the quickest ones to go. The Wild, there was a few. There was a few that moved pretty quick. And then, yeah, obviously, you can look around at the team shops online. Maybe they have more selection. I mean, there's other ways of getting them. But my main point here is kind of to say, okay, from now until the end of the year, where's the focus? That's probably going to be the focus. Yeah, that's probably going to be the focus. That's not to say that, listen, Mitchell Ness starts digging into hockey. Because I did hear they might be starting to throw some hockey out there in November, but I don't know what. But, we'll see. We'll see. But since I'm already going after hockey, maybe that could sit and wait. Go at that another time. Get the current stuff, the stuff that might not stick around as long. And that's probably the best game plan for me. But I know I'm boring you all to death right now, so I'm going to go. But that's my take on the reverse retro. I'm sorry I don't have pictures or images or something or some fancy. Look behind me with a box with the pictures there, right? But my channel's bare boned. This is just how it is, right? Just chopping it up with you, the viewer. But I do hope at some point before I get them, I want to show some of the ones I'm going to be aiming for, to grab, and I want to show some of them at that point, and maybe I'll, find a way to show the pictures. Maybe do it via the laptop or the phone. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But anyhow, I hope you're all doing well. I look forward to tomorrow night, Game 3. My first time I'll ever be at a playoff Phillies game in person. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope they come through. That game yesterday, listen, it's a series. It's called a series for a reason. Yeah, it would be awesome if we could just sweep and whatnot, but the other team's going to win some games too, so you got to just, as long as we win more than them at the end and advance to World Series, it would be an incredible thing. It's going to be tough. The Padres, they're a good team, and they have a lot of talent. They paid a lot of money. Both teams, like, they're 5 and 6 seeds, but they've both spent a lot of money in recent years, right? So they're going to do some battle. I do think that the Phillies have a good shot. I know the fans are going to be crazy over this weekend. They were absolutely insane versus Atlanta. I mean, they rattled Atlanta, and that was a defending champion team. They rattled them. Those fans, man, they got to Atlanta, and I think we can get to San Diego too. Manny Machado's a little thin-skinned. I think we can get to him. He's going to be flailing away tomorrow, missing a lot of... He's not going to be hitting the ball. But anyhow, I look forward to tomorrow night. I really do. I'm glad the Phillies are in a position where they've made it, to October baseball and playoffs, and it's been awesome so far, and we're hoping for continued success. The Union play tonight, their first playoff game in Chester, and they're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference with a chance, a couple wins away from going to the MLS Cup final, which would be awesome, right? Came close last year, but maybe this year they can do it. The Eagles, obviously, we know 6-0 going into the bye. The Flyers got their first loss last night, but 3-1, off to a strong start. The Sixers, I didn't watch any of that game because I was focused on the Phillies, but I know what happened in Boston. Come on, guys. But they have their home opener tonight against Giannis and the Bucks. I do have hope. I know the Sixers, it's like they can't get out of the second round every year. I do think it's going to be a good year. I think they have a good team. It's going to take them a little time to mesh and gel. But I look forward to the season, and I just hope, Embiid has to find a way to stay healthy in the playoffs, and they have to find a way to get out of the damn second round. That's for damn sure this year. Get out of the second round, guys. Let's go. All right, but I look forward to it. I'm a bit of a hoop head myself, so the Sixers, it would mean a lot if they could, have success. It would. Not Eagles a level, because nothing will ever touch that Super Bowl. But that's one of those teams in this town that I would absolutely love to see, because we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot with this team, and it would be awesome to get rewarded, and for them to be rewarded, to have a nice playoff run at the end of this year and get out of the damn second round. they've had a collection of teams that have beaten them too. It's like they're collecting them, like I collect hats. That's not good. And jerseys. That's not good, Sixers. I mean, that's bad collecting. So we'll see. Anyhow, I've gone on for 50 minutes. It's an exciting time to be a Philly sports fan, and we can't always say that. So we'll enjoy it while we can. And, we'll see what happens the rest of the way. And I'll be back again soon on this channel. So what do you always got to do, right? Leave those likes. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And also make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notified of all future content from yours truly. And I will see you in the next one. Go Phillies! Go Union! Eagles on the bye. Go Sixers. Go Flyers. I'll see you in the next one.